Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020. Hop to the Top continues today as we're on the hunt for some new staff because we are in desperate need of some new staff, and we must take on Arrow today in the Swiss Challenge League. Hope you're all doing well today. Thank you ever so much for the continued support on this series so far. It's very much appreciated, and it's blown me away, really. It's blown me away. Now, I'm recording this before yesterday's episode comes out, so we set a likes target yesterday of 400 likes on the video. No idea if we've hit that or not, because obviously it's not uploaded yet, so I've not seen it. But for today's episode, I want to set a likes target of 300. We're going to be a bit smaller this time around. Let's go for 300. As we get deeper into the series, more people start to drop off. It's a natural thing with any series. But if we can still get 300 likes on today's video, that would be amazing. So the first thing to take you through is the results since you were last here. And I tell you what, they have been absolutely perfect. Since you were last here for the Lucerne game where we lost 2-1, where they scored in the 94th minute to take the win, which was so frustrating, we've actually been really good. We started off with a 5-1 win over Ville. Morandi scored in the first minute of the game. Messinero scored one later on. Ben Khalifa scored a penalty, and then Baba Suare, or Sore, I'm not entirely sure how you say his surname. It has got me confused. By the way, if you're interested, he's Swiss. A few people in the comment section have been saying we can't see nationalities, and it's because it's hidden for some reason behind this homegrown thing. It doesn't matter what skin you use, it just seems to be hidden behind this. Of course, I'm using a different skin, obviously the same one as last episode. There is another one that I want to change to that I quite like. I much prefer how the player screen looks, but the rest of it, perhaps not so much. It's a little bit confusing. I'll just show you it quickly so you get a view of what it's like. It's this TSC 2020 version 1.1.1 reload skin, and then it will load in. As you can see, this skin is very different. I'm a big fan of it. I actually prefer this skin on the player screen. And if we look at the club screen as well, I think the club screen looks a lot better as well. I'm a big fan of this. Where this skin lets me down is the tactics screen, because it just shows this big thing. It doesn't show you underneath like the what's going well, what's not going well, and in a match as well, it's not so good. So I do prefer the other one because I think it shows me more information where I want to show me more information, but we'll stick with this actually for this episode. Let's see what you guys think, and you can let me know in the comment section if you prefer the skin from last episode or this episode. Anyway, the reason we went on to Baba Sore, or whatever he's called, is because I can't pronounce his surname. So I'm just going to get rid of his surname in his nickname, and I'm just going to rename him to Baba because that just seems simple to me. After that, we played Stade Lausanne in the Swiss Cup second round, team from our division. And rather than playing a youth team like we did in the first round, had to rely on penalties, we went for a more rotated side, but still a decent enough side. And we only just managed to win that 1-0. Oliver Buff scored in the 92nd minute to secure the win. Following that, a 2-1 win over Schaffhausen back in the league with Ben Khalifa with a brace, one on the penalty, one in the 56th minute. So Ben Khalifa actually scoring some goals recently, which has been really, really good. We then took on Vaduz in the league and we won that one 1-0. That was a much closer game, closer than it should have been. But luckily, Sukachev came through and scored the goal in the 71st minute. And then he went on to score a hat-trick in the league against Stade Lausanne, this time scoring very late on actually to make sure he got his hat-trick. But Morandi also got a brace in a game where Ben Khalifa picked up an injury and is going to be out for a good few weeks. So we've got a bit of a crisis going on up front to decide who's going to be playing up there. He is going to be out for 3 weeks probably, so we won't see him in today's episode. Hopefully, though, we get someone else in who's going to be scoring some goals for us. Results mean that we stay second in the table. Lausanne have won every single game that they've played as well since they beat us, so they stay ahead of us by a single point. Both us and Lausanne are nearly half the points ahead of Winterthur in third place, so it is becoming a two-horse race now for the league title. It's going to be between us two come the end of it. We have to get the better of them in the remaining 3 games we've got against Lausanne this season. To help do that, we are going to need some more staff. Now, we've actually got a relatively big complement of coaching staff and medical staff. We could do with a little bit better coaching staff, but where we are lacking though is the recruitment team. We've barely got anyone. We've got no chief scout, no chief data analyst. We've got 1 scout. I mean, it's rubbish. We need to get more than this. So we need to get a few. I should have done this earlier on, to be fair, but I've not been too fussed about scouting. But it is getting to the point now where we probably will have to make a few signings to sort of tie things over until all our regens and youth players are good enough. So quite simply, we're just going to search for scouts, and we are going to click on judging player ability and potential. We'll sort of flick between that. These apparently are people that are interested in joining. We're not going to try and sign people who are already at clubs. So all this guy, Tommy Miller, is good. He will cost money to come from Spennymoor, and we're not too interested. So the next top person, according to this sort of filter, is Amano Ferrari, who's got a cool name: 15 adaptability, 16 judging player ability, 17 judging player potential. He's Italian, he's 70 years old, he'll probably retire in a few seasons' time, but we may as well get him in. How much is he going to cost? 2.4k per week, and we can only offer up to £600. I'm afraid not, lad. I'm afraid we can't get this guy in. I'll tell you what, let's get rid of the employed status as well, so we get rid of anyone who's at other clubs. So we can't get Ferrari, unfortunately. Next best option then is Erwin here, who's a 6-year-old Belgian chap. Is he going to be any good though? Is he going to want 2.4k per week? He doesn't. He only wants 120k per week as well. You know what? For that kind of money, mate, you can be the chief scout if you want to. I mean, I'm happy to let you be chief scout for that kind of price. And he's happy to accept that. So we might have a chief scout coming in now, which is good. I don't want to go too crazy on the scouts, especially because I know at some point better ones will become available that we can sign. So I think the next two we go for are just these two that are next down on the list with the 12 judging ability and 13 judging potential. So Thomas, first up, is a Canadian guy who has recently been all over the place as a player. He used to play for Everton, apparently. So if you remember this guy, Radzinski, I can't say he's a player that I particularly remember, but must be an alright scout. So let's try and get him into the club as well. Approach to sign. He wants a bit more money, £325 per week, with a top promotion wage rise of 30%. Let's get rid of that, £250 per week. How does that sound? He's not too keen. 275. Still wants 350. 275. 325. I can settle on 300, lad. 300 sorted. And then finally, Matthew Warmsley is apparently someone who's a scout at Birmingham, or has been a scout at Birmingham. Doesn't actually say he's left, but has left because he's got no club, which is a little bit weird. So I'm not quite sure if he's there or not. Either way, we're going to try and get this guy in as well, see if he can just help us out a little bit. Let's get rid of the promotion wage rise as well. £150 a week looks good to me. He's happy to sign. So hopefully some scouts coming in now. Where we are lacking massively is the Grasshopper under 18 squad. So we've got a manager, just no coaches or physios, anything like that. So we're going to go back to the staff search, but we're going to edit things just a little bit. And we're going to include not realistic appointments to the first team or reserves. We just want to get players in who are realistic for the youth team. Clear the search filters as well for now, and we need to look for some coaches. So ideally I want one attacking coach, one defensive coach, and a goalkeeping coach as well. So if we search by attacking, this guy comes up on top with 18 attacking, but his other attributes around only 6 mental, tactical, technical. They're not brilliant, so someone else could be better. This guy, Willie Donnici, who is actually the manager of Montserrat, apparently. He might not be interested. He's actually more of a manager than a coach, apparently, but he's got very good attacking and defending, which is quite good. He's got some good mental, technical and tactical coaching abilities as well. His mental stuff is quite good. The only thing that might let him down slightly is working with the youngsters and his playing style and tactical style. But I think we could maybe get him in. I think he could be the best option on a 1-year deal. Let's try a 1-year deal. See if he does that. Offer him £200 a week instead as well. And he wants to be the manager. Well, we want him as a coach instead. Suggest those terms. He wants a 2-year deal on a bit more money with promotion wage rise. Get rid of that. We can have him on a 2-year deal. We can have him on a 2-year deal. £240, £250. He's happy with that. Okay, there's one coaching at least. He looks all right. If we now put the emphasis on defending instead, although saying that, we've got some guy and he's got 12 attacking and 13 defending. So actually, she should be good enough to cover both bases. If we look for fitness coaches instead. So actually now, if we change from coach to fitness coach and look at this fitness, this guy right at the top actually, he says he's a sports scientist. He's not, maybe not the best for fitness coaching. This guy underneath him though has got better mental stats than the previous guy. He's working with youngsters as 14. He looks okay. Let's try and offer a contract to this guy. He wants 1.6k per week though, so we can't offer a contract to that guy. Maybe we do just go back to this guy, Ronald Horneck, who is meant to be a sports scientist, but he's only got 3 on sports science. He should be a fitness coach, really. Let's do it. Let's just offer him the contract as a coaching. I feel like I've offered someone a role of a coach rather than under 18 coach as well. I think I've made a mistake here as well. This guy, under 18's fitness coach, for £120 per week, he's happy with that. Let's do that. I feel like I have offered someone a job who I shouldn't have offered a job to. Is it this guy? I feel like change contracts offer. No, we don't want him to be a coach. We want him to be an under 18's coach, please. Willie suggests that. He accepts that. That's fine. We've sorted that one out. So you're probably shouting at the screen at me already. We've sorted that. And then I also said I wanted to have a goalkeeping coach as well. So let's have a look at goalkeeping coaches. Looks like the best ones are already taken, but this guy's got 20 youth rating. He's actually really good. You know what? I think I'd be happy to pay the money and just take him off that club. I'd rather not waste our money, but this guy, I think, could be the real deal for us. So only £3,000 compensation. It's not actually like much at all. Under 18s goalkeeping coach. £240 a week is a little bit steep. Let's try and take this down to 180 and sort of work it down. 190. He still wants 250, £200. We'll keep working him down to 200, 210 then. He's happy with 210. Finalise that. Hopefully now we're going to have a good under-18 coaching staff, but we've got more scouts. This should be really good. I've tried to be savvy with the amount we're spending on wages to try and not boost it too much and ruin the finances. Financially, we are currently £1.8 million in the red. It just keeps going down. I'm not entirely sure what's causing it. Wages, actually, that's a big one. We've already spent £1 million on wages this season nearly. So wages is a big one, but I forgot to tell you about it. It's happened in between episodes, so it's only just happened. But if we look at the transfer history and look at players out, we have sold Marco Basic for £150,000. He's gone. This guy was earning £8,500 per week at our club and wasn't playing. So we finally got rid of him. As part of the deal, we are actually paying 2.5k per week until the end of the season. So we've got a season of paying him 2.5k per week, not 2.8k per week. So it's a little bit of money still, but at least we're not paying him 8.5k per week. That's a big saving for us. And what it means is we have taken down the wage bill. We were spending £68,000 and now paying £54,000. So we've saved £14,000 per week. Unfortunately, it's not done that much for the projection, as we are still projected to lose £9.28 million this season. Overall, though, the board are relatively happy with me. They're very pleased with the squad and how the unit team and the players is very good at the moment. I'm getting C's and B's to everything else right now, but as the season goes on and we keep progressing, surely I've got to be hitting A's at some point with the board. And the first few staff are starting to sign for the club before we get into today's game, which is fantastic. So Horneck, the fitness coach for the under 18, he's come in straight away, which is fantastic. Hopefully he'll really improve the under 18s in a bit. One of the scouts is coming in now that we're clicking accept on. So Matthew Warmsley, welcome to the club. Send on an intensive language course. Ask to recommend a signing. That'd be quite good. Pusic, who apparently had a knock recently, should be back fit enough for today's game against Arrow. And hopefully we're going to go and win this one. So, again, I'm not massively keen on this tactics screen with this particular skin because you can't see all the information underneath. Not that I ever read it, really. I don't really read it all that often. And even when I do, I don't really take it into account and do stuff with it. So it's not that much of a big deal, really. But if you guys like it, we can keep it like this. If you don't like it, we'll change it, of course. Ben Khalifa is currently injured, so Subotic is going to come onto the pitch. And what that means is I'm going to give our under 18 chap a go, if I can remember what he's called. Flake, that's the one. Flake, we're going to give him a chance on the bench. We might see him later on in today's game, but Flake's going to come onto the bench. Now, Sukachev scored a hat-trick from that position last game, and whilst I'd love to bring Peter Pusic back on the pitch, he scored a hat-trick, Sukachev, in that position last time. So I'm going to leave him there with on loan Monzialo on the left-hand side. And Morandi can stay in the middle as well. So, no real change to the front line apart from Subotic coming in. Buff and Allen, I'm just more than happy to keep them in the midfield. They are doing really, really well. And then the back line as well, like Witver, Baba, Messinara, who's currently doing very well. Svetkovic was out injured for a while. Messinara's come in while Svetkovic was out injured. But he's found difficult to get back into the squad because he's doing such a good job. He's also the youngster who's got a good bit of potential as well. So it's good to give him some game time. And Svetkovic can come off the bench in today's game. And then Aragorn starting at right back. Salvi in goal. It's no real change, really. I've sort of got my starting 11 now, which I'm very happy with. Also, both the skins that we're trying out have this instant result button. I've not clicked it yet because I don't quite know what it does. I don't know if it sends you a holiday for a day or I don't quite know. I've not trusted it yet, so I'm not going to press it, but we'll press it at some point soon in an episode to see what it does. Today, though, we want to get on against Arrow and hopefully pick up a big win. So kickoff is upon us in today's game, and this skin looks a little bit different in game. Unfortunately, we don't have the formations down here, which is what I really love about the other skin. But I do prefer how this bit looks up here with like the TV style, I suppose, scoreline. But then on this very top line, it's all very congested in this corner. I don't like that either. So I just can't make my mind up as to which skin that I like. If there's other skins that you think are really cool, let me know in the comment section. I'll check those ones out as well. But for now, I think the skin that we had last episode is probably better to go for from a viewing experience, because I think it shows you more information that you might be interested in. Although I do prefer this skin in all aspects apart from the tactics screen and the match screen. If I could combine both of them, that would be perfect. If I could combine both of them, that would solve all my issues. But unfortunately we can't, as Arrow have the first highlight of the first half in the 42nd minute. It's a free kick which they're taking their time to line up, and it goes wide of the mark in the end. So not really that impressive. We do, though, approach half-time, and it's not looking good for us. Only 4 shots in that first half. We're going to go aggressive at half-time. Far from pleased from what I have just seen from you. Everyone, apart from Mondialo, looks motivated by that. And we're also going to go on to attacking as well. We're going to shout, show some passion out there. And I want to see us do something in the second half, because we've got to keep winning games to keep up with Lausanne. Obviously, they've not played their game yet. They're playing their game after us. So if we draw today, they win. It's going to be a real game to catch up with them now, as in the second half. Only the first half highlight coming up now as Baba gets on the ball back to Messinera, who just gives it back to the opposition, who put it up to their striker, who's through and scores the goal. Is this going to be our second loss of the season against Arrow? We need to get back in this game now. We need to go very attacking, and we need to do something, lads. Right, demand more as well. We'll say that, and then we're going to make some substitutes. Sukachev can come back on the left-hand side, and Pusic can come on the right, see what he can do out there. We're going to take off Baba, who's looking a little bit tired, and bring Svetkovic back on the pitch for him. And then shortly, we might make another change, but I'm not quite sure what to change yet. This is the thing, I'm not entirely sure. We've played brilliantly recently. I can't believe we're about to lose this game. We're 15 minutes away from losing, and now is a highlight for us. Right, show some passion out there as Morandi comes forward into Oliver Buff, who plays it out to Pusic. The substitute shot is far too tame, though. Needs to be challenging the keeper more than that. 10 minutes to go. We've had 13 shots to their 4 shots, and yet we are behind in today's game. I want a draw. I want the draw now. I don't really care about winning, as long as we don't drop points or lose the game, I should say, as Pusic is shot wide once again. We've definitely changed since he's come on the pitch, because he's obviously scored. I had a few shots, not scored a goal, unfortunately. But the clock ticks down, and we've lost. 17 shots to 4 shots, but only 3 on target. It really was poor from us. Their one decent chance they score from, and that is that. If Lausanne go and win their game, which I presume is going to be tomorrow, if we just continue a little bit, we can see what happens, as more and more of the staff that we've offered contracts to are starting to accept the contract. So hopefully this is going to be a big improvement for us. Come on, Vaduz then. Come on, Vaduz. Please do us a massive favour and beat Lausanne to keep us only 1 point behind them. If they win, we'll be 4 points behind them. And really this season, they win 3-0 to go 4 points clear of us. Terrible. I was saying it's going to be a 2-horse race this season, but if we lose games to teams like Arrow, it's going to be a 1-horse race for Lausanne, and we have to come second. We've got to start performing better. Next time around then, we are going to go back and play Lausanne, because we've got to. I mean, we've got 4 games against them this season. We lost the first one. Obviously, we play every team 4 times this season, because it's such a small league. So we've got 4 games against them. We've got 3 more. We're going to go back to this one, and obviously, we've got a rivalry game with them this season, so we're going to do them, and then Ville as well. We're going to have our first 2-game episode of the season, so look forward to that one next time around. In the meantime, though, I need to make sure we win every single game going forward to make sure we are still in touching distance with Lausanne. We can't be dropping points like we did against Arrow. We've got to keep picking them up, and we've now got to pray that Lausanne just start losing some. Either way, despite that, I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Remember, 300 likes target for today's episode. Hopefully we can get there. If we can, you guys, absolute legends. If you're new around here, of course, please do click subscribe and turn those notifications on so you never miss an episode. And I'll see you next time for some more Hop to the Top action.